Push Pakistan into a wall, into a corner, and they'll blow a hole and find their own way out. We have seen the very best of Pakistan and their batting today at Trent Bridge. England, you like to score 340 for fun, you like to chase 350 for fun, you've got to do it today in a World Cup match. You've got to break a record that the World Cup has never seen before. Game on in Nottingham. Pakistan have managed 348 after Owen Morgan put them into bat and their batsmen put their hand up. They saw out the new ball, they got runs at the top. Mohammad Hafiz walked in at a more favourable number 4 than the 6 that he did against the West Indies, smashed the runs, and they have thrown the gauntlet down to England now. Let's see if you can do what you claim you can. At half-time on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019 to discuss what looks like an appetizing contest, now a prospect of possibly the closest game if England are to be believed and their recent history is to be believed. Daren, Ganga is here, Murali, Kartik is here. We'll hear from Graeme, Swann and Misbah-ul-Haq in just a bit. This was fun, Daren.
The enigma of Pakistan, as expected. Many people expected Pakistan to rise to the challenge after that heavy defeat against the West Indies. But I think most significant in this effort was the intent shown by the batting. I think that gives an idea or an indication as to their state of mind as a team. Still, despite that defeat, they came out fighting, they applied themselves, and they won't any pushover. They back their ability, back their skills. They were more adept at playing the short deliveries, and that to me is what contributed towards their success with the bats.
What a hugely improved batting performance over the last couple of days. You've seen the two templates, Bangladesh yesterday, Pakistan today. It's almost like that game against the West Indies didn't happen.
A 300% improvement, or slightly more than that, if you go by the scores. And as Daren mentioned, I think just completely forget what happened a few days ago on the same surface or on the same ground, not the same surface, but the same ground, it just speaks volumes. And the way they played, in spite of having been put in, can you imagine the top 3, the strike rates were slightly less than 100, and after that, everyone who's come, you look at the strike rates, amazing strike rates, the way they've gone right through. Yeah. So it speaks volumes of the mental tenacity shown by the Pakistani batsmen today. Yeah. And hopefully, today possibly will be the biggest upset if they can upsurge and upstage England. I'm
going to go to Misbah-ul-Haq now, and I know that Misbah is going to say, I knew that this Pakistan batting is capable of this, because we've seen this. The problem was defending it, so he considered that game against the West Indies an aberration. In spite of that, Misbah, let me come to you. You must be very pleased, and I like the word Daren used, the intent shown by Pakistan from start to finish today.
Yeah, absolutely amazed by the batting effort what Pakistan did today. Bowled out 105 in the last game, totally bamboozled by West Indies, and playing against the top side in the world, number 1 side in the world, and that sort of show with batting, it doesn't just, you cannot just say that Pakistan got out on 105 in the previous game the way they batted. Well planned and well executed, and we just kept on saying that the top 4 are the key for any team, and especially for Pakistan. And today they delivered, and they got a very good score. So now I think it's important for Pakistan bowling to just put their hand up and show that we can defend that, because this was basically the weak link in the previous couple of series, and obviously you need a good fielding effort. That was the difference between England and Pakistan in the last series. We dropped a couple of easy chances and run outs. If we can improve that, and a bit of added pressure on England of being favourites in the World Cup, I think Pakistan can win this game, and this is going to be a big game for Pakistan to get back in this mega event.
All right, they've done half the job, but we have seen England chase these sort of scores for fun. But that's bilateral ODI cricket. This is the big deal. This is the real deal. So let's see what the England perspective makes of it. Let's go to Trent Bridge now, where Melinda Farrell is eagerly waiting outside alongside Graeme Swann on a day when Jofra Archer's been brought down to earth somewhat by international cricket. Melinda, all yours.
Well, yeah, it was obviously a great performance by Pakistan. But first of all, Graeme Swann, I'm going to ask you, what is a family-friendly word you could use to describe England's fielding performance today?
There aren't many out there. A schoolboy effort in the field, to be honest. I don't think the bowlers did that badly. Trent Bridge is a very tricky place to contain runs. That's a good wicket. It's a small ground, it's a fast outfield. I think they're below par, to be honest, Pakistan. England chased down 350 against Pakistan a couple of weeks ago. I don't think they'll be that perturbed by chasing 348, but it was a great effort from Pakistan. The bowlers did okay. The fielding was just shocking. I mean, Jason Roy is one of the best fielders in the world, let alone England, and to drop that catch, then miss a run out. 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it's sloppy things in from Joe Root, a shy at the stumps goes for byes. Do you think England were maybe just feeling a little bit rattled today?
No, I think it's one of those days. Sometimes in the field, things don't go well. Square of the wicket here at Trent Bridge, because the square is so big, it can bobble around a bit. But the actual outfield everywhere else is perfect. So no excuses from England, just not good enough.
And what did you make of the pitch?
I think it's a good pitch. A lot of people saying it's not the same pitch that England played against Australia and got 4-8-1. You've got to remember that Australia weak opposition, so it's very easy to get 4-8-1 against. But I think it's a good pitch. I think the ball comes onto the bat nicely. I think when the clouds come overhead, it gets a little bit trickier. But whenever the sun breaks through, it looks a glorious strip.
And what did you make of Murali? Warm your heart a bit to see the off-spinner get a few wickets. And he was the one with Mark Wood who put the brakes on, didn't he?
Absolutely. They had a really good spell together early on. And it's great to see Moeen back because he's really been second fiddle for England behind Adil Rashid for the last couple of years. But he bowled beautifully. I always love seeing finger spinners take wickets. And 3 for 50. Well done, Mo.
Now you say that this should be an easy one for, not easy. For England to chase down. Do you think we might see them open with a bit of spin after what happened in the first match?
It wouldn't surprise me. Actually, spin is the key for Pakistan here. If their spinners can bowl well and tie England down and use scoreboard pressure, that is their chance of winning this game. I don't think the seamers will pose too many problems, and I think the England players will want pace onto the bat. But it's going to be fascinating to see how they go about chasing this down. I think they can do it. They'll think they can do it. Whether Pakistan believe they can do it and can contain them is a different thing.
Yeah, very, very exciting second half of this match to come.
All right, thank you very much, Mel. Thank you, Swanee. We'll continue to hear from you. Schoolboy effort, says Graeme Swann, amongst the more colourful words that I think he'd like to use to describe England's performance in the field today. Our count has us at 14 individual attempts of individual instances of poor fielding, which has resulted in 23 runs now from whatever we calculated. But let's see if that comes back to bite England in this chase. We're going to have a look at some numbers as well, and we'll continue having this conversation. And Kartik, Mel used the word rattled. Now, Pakistan, while defending in ODIs in 2019, 9 matches, they've lost 8. And there's been one that never went through. There's more coming, and that doesn't make for good reading. But this is a World Cup game. This is a very different prospect. Even if you're not a good team defending, it's a good thing you've got at least 350 nearly on the board now, Kartik.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one thing which you can do from your end, from a batting point of view, or from a team point of view, to stack up a score. Give your bowlers the best chance. Yes, it's not an easy ground. It's not an easy ground to bowl. But the thing is that the things which are controllable have been done by Pakistan, which was to put some runs on the board. Yes, obviously a World Cup pressure of World Cup and playing there is completely different.
So we're just looking at England at home as well, Kartik, while you make your point. Out of 25 matches, they've won 20 in chasing.
Exactly.
This is what they like to do.
Yeah, exactly. They do like, and that's why it didn't seem as if they were very perturbed about what was happening. They must have actually thought, like what Swanee said, that they're possibly 50, 60 runs short on the surface.
Yeah. That point that Mel uses, she uses rattled, maybe because they saw Pakistan just take them on. Could I use another word and say maybe overconfident, or just they're not paying as much attention? Because those many instances of misfield from good fielders.
Yeah, I think a little bit complacent, I would say, because this is by no means the standard of all cricket that we've seen from this England side. Yes, they carried the tag as favourites in this World Cup, and their fielding was just below par. Not something that you expect, a regulation catch, you would say. Jason Roy put down, and the amount of blunders you see in the field, you very rarely even see that in county cricket. So they will be disappointed. I think Pakistan psychologically may rise to the challenge. Yes, scoreboard pressure is there. We've seen a little bit of turn off the surface as well, so that may prove to be advantageous to Pakistan.
There is a conversation, a mouth-watering conversation to have about whether Pakistan's bowlers can defend this. We'll have that with Misbah-ul-Haq and the rest of the panel on the other side. Stay with us. It's an intriguing halftime show from Trent Bridge.
Put your tipping to the test. Play Cricket Picks, the new predictor game from ESPN Cricinfo. Make predictions and track your progress throughout the tournament. The easiest thing you'll do all day. Go to espncricinfo.com/cricketpicks and play today. Want to do something easier? Play Cricket Picks, the new predictor game from ESPN Cricinfo. Make predictions, pick your winners, and track your progress throughout the tournament. Go to espncricinfo.com.
England talk the talk, but can they walk it now on the biggest possible stage in the World Cup? Can they chase down the kind of score that they've made a mockery of in bilateral ODI cricket over the past few years? And most recently against this opposition, if you just have a look at that bilateral series between England and Pakistan, which was considered to be just, exotic batting wickets or batting-friendly wickets, for the lack of a better word. And in those games, you had Pakistan nearly get to 373, which England managed to defend. Then England chased 359. They've got to go 10 less than that. ODI number 4, you had England chase 340 for fun, and then they posted 350 in the final ODI as well. Now that Pakistan bowling unit did not include Mohammad Amir and Wahab Riaz, and then changes were made after that series that saw the likes of Junaid Khan move out, and even Shaheen Afridi has not got a game. So let me go to Misbah-ul-Haq now and ask him, or put him in the position that he's most familiar with. You're Pakistan captain right now, Misbah. You've got these bowlers, Amir and Wahab, who may not be high on confidence or haven't played recently, but they have 350 to defend. What are you going to say to them, and how are you going to inspire this bowling attack to do what other bowling attacks in Pakistan have not been able to against England of late?
Yeah, I think overall, if we look at the bowling attack we were using in the last series against England, this is a bit better, bit more experience, and Wahab Riaz obviously give them that option of experience and also pace and variations, because he got very good slow ones and Yorkers at the death. And obviously, don't forget Shadab Khan. He wasn't in that lineup. And it's now up to the captains how they use their bowlers. And obviously, it will be important that how we use our spin options in this game. The way the pitch was offering a little bit to Moeen, and he bowled really well. So it is important how we use Shadab Khan and Shoaib Malik and Hafiz also, because they got left-handers in their batting lineup, and also there is wind, and there's one side slightly bigger than the other side, so you need to use your bowlers smartly, and obviously Pakistan have those resources, and it's a big game, it's a World Cup game. You already have seen that the teams are not been able to chase it down like they were doing it before the World Cup. England scored 310 plus runs, 313 I think in the first game, and they defended that total. That was also par. So already the par scores are a bit down. So
it is around that par score. Yes, Misbah. Just getting Graeme Swann, who wants to also make a point. So let's go back to Trent Bridge. Swanny, all yours with Mel.
Yeah, we've seen Swanee, England chase down so many big scores in bilateral series when you can afford to take those risks. But just how much different is it when you're doing it in a World Cup?
I'm not sure it'll make any difference, to be honest. This England team, they're not bothered by being favourites. They're not bothered by the pressure that brings, because they're a new generation of Englishmen. My team would have absolutely hated that, would never have chased 350 down. But I think this one, we'll just see it as another game of cricket. They know Trent Bridge like the back of their hands. They know how hard it is for a fielding team to drag a score back or to defend a total. It all comes down to the spinners for me. If the spinners can just tighten the screws and build up some pressure in the middle, it means big shots have to be played, which are obviously risky shots. If England don't get off to a flyer, I think Pakistan will win this game. But I'm fully expecting England to make a full charge at this.
And I suppose it's good for England to be facing different situations early on. They had to defend against South Africa, and now they're going to test their mettle again here. That must be good for them.
Well, that's right. And during the one-day series against Pakistan, Owen Morgan batted first in the game just so. That would happen at some stage. So really varying things up, making sure the team can win from any situation. I think they'll be fairly happy because they bowled first. That's what they wanted to do. Yes, Pakistan got 3-4-8, but they'll back themselves to the hilt. It's going to be a great game, though.
Yeah, another exciting chase, I think, on the way. But we've seen a lot of that from England before in recent times, Rana.
Right. Swanny, before and I say bye to you, at the start of this game, I thought Pakistan investing in both Hafiz and Shoaib Malik to be the fifth bowler would be a bit of a risk. At halftime, is that looking a bit better now after how Moeen Ali bowled?
Absolutely, Murali bowled beautifully, 3 for 50 on that pitch. There was a bit of turn. So yeah, it all comes down to spin. If I were Pakistan, I'd use as much spin as possible. The more pace you have onto the ball here at Trent Bridge, it comes on beautifully against the seamers. It's a short boundary, nearly all the way around the ground, but spinners tend to do better than seamers. So if I were Pakistan, I'd go full out spin. If I were England, I'd be hoping the seamers bowled the majority of the overs.
All right, many thanks, Swanny. Many thanks, Mel. We'll continue this conversation at the end of the game. Kartik, the role of spin could come more and more into this with how Moeen Ali bowled. Adil Rashid only bowled the 5 overs, but he had Mohammad Hafiz dropped first ball. Who knows what would happen if that would have been taken?
Yeah, again, the quality of spin makes a huge difference. And the way Moeen Ali bowls or has bowled, I think on a surface like that, most of the time, all of us end up saying that the wicket was turning. But at the end of the day, there are lots of spinners who don't even turn on wickets which aid some spin. Moeen Ali bowled conventional old school off spin. There was flight, the way he bowled, got the ball to drift. I think when all those things happen, you do put a lot of revs and put a lot of body into the way you have delivered the ball. And I think that's one of the reasons why he was successful today, even on a surface which was really good for batting. And I think you are going to find the role of spin. The role of spinners has always been underestimated. And every time we look at stats, many grounds have better averages for spinners than for pacers, even in England, for England. So pretty sure that Pakistan, and Graeme Swann is spot on. He said that as England, you're hoping that you don't get too much spin to them.
They have to bowl a lot of spin, Misbah, with the team that they've picked. They did leave Imad Wasim out. They're going to have to use both Shoaib Malik and Hafiz. Just take me through how you would use the spinners now after what you've seen in the first half. Is there a case of giving Shadab Khan an early over like we saw Imran Tahir against Johnny Bairstow? Tell me how you'd use the spinners in this chase now.
Yeah, I think that is another option. They can use it and surprise England in your bowling changes. That is the key if you are defending that sort of total. I mean, you cannot just go conventional. I think if you just make surprise changes, that will help Pakistan.
All right, thank you very much, Misbah. Let's get a final word from Daren Ganga. Pakistan going to defend this?
Well, I think the microscope is on Sarfraz Ahmed, the captain of this Pakistan team, because we've heard from Misbah about all the different scenarios, one side of the ground being a little bit shorter, wind blowing strongly across. So it will be about his decision making and using the resources we spoke about.
Don't rule out that they might outfield England today with the runs that they have. Let's look at our Hotstar top comment at this point and see what it is. This is from Sumed in Mumbai. Says, considering the spell in the first game against West Indies, should Pakistan have dropped Riaz and included Afridi in his place? Daren, very quickly.
I think Riaz is an experienced bowler in this side. His left arm fast bowling is a definite asset, and he will need to bring that to the fore. So I will think that Riaz is the better option.
Okay, Pakistan or West Indies? Daren? Pakistan or England?
I will stay with my initial choice and go with England.
Kartik?
Look, I'll think that Pakistan should defend.
All right, I know where Misbah stands, so I don't need to ask him, but it should make for a terrific conversation at the end of this game. Let's see if Pakistan can cause the biggest upset of this World Cup so far. We'll see you again on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.